Whenever there's a Wednesday video on Greenwood Today, you know I'm here. My name is Johnathan Graves, and I am the Greenwood Today Sports host. I'm sitting here with two guys ready to talk some high school football, some college football, like we usually do on Wednesdays. Y'all know how it goes. On my right, actually my left, but to y'all's right, we have Stephen Miller. He's covering the Abbeville Panthers for us this year. Stephen, how you doing this morning?
Doing pretty good.
On my left, we have Chris Maxie. He's covering Word Shoals for us this year. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good, Jonathan.
Guys, Friday night, I know we had some great games. We had some great college games this weekend. But first, we're going to start with the high school football. Goes to the game everybody's talking about. Abbeville versus Hart County. It must go down as one of the greatest upsets because Coach Nichols said that they were underdogs for the first time in a long time. Some underdogs. 40-7 was the final score. Stephen, you witnessed that game. Talk to us a little bit about the game and what you saw. It looked like it was, this week it was Mr. Action Faxon back doing his old thing.
Yeah, before we get to the offense, the defense was, for Abbeville, was really great. They were down a few players due to some sickness that's been going around, but Abbeville's defense was able to cause the Bulldogs' offense to turn the ball over 5 times, and the Bulldogs' offense for Hart County is really good. They got a really good running team, but you know, Michael Tiller, Andrew Osborne, and some of those guys really stepped up big for the Panthers' defense, and then it just seemed like the defense kind of sparked the offense. Jimmy Thatson and Darrell Elmore, they were big, like always, running the ball and scoring some big touchdowns, especially in the second half, to take the game over. It was a really good game. It was close at first, but it was in the end, Abbeville's offense was too much for Hart County.
And Abbeville is on a roll. It seems like they're on the 35, I think it is, 35-game regular season winning streak.
Yeah, 34 to be exact. 34,
okay.
Yes.
Good to correct me.
Yeah.
They have Woodruff this week. We're going to be talking about that game a little bit later on. Let's move right here to my left, actually my right, y'all's left. Chris Maxie. I want to talk to you a little bit, Chris. Word Shoals Hornets, you covered them on Friday. Word Shoals versus Batesburg. Probably not the outcome you're looking for, but Batesburg traditionally plays y'all tough anyway. Talk to me a little bit about what you saw on Friday night.
Yeah, Word Shoals had another home game. They've got another home game this week. Took on Batesburg this past Friday night. Batesburg is traditionally a team that always brings a lot of players to begin with anyway. Yeah, it wasn't the result I was hoping for. Word Shoals wound up taking the first loss of the year, 20-6. Actually, at halftime, it was only a 1-score difference. Defensively, couldn't say anything better about Word Shoals. They stepped up defensively. It could have been a lot worse than what it was. Of course, they've got a tough team in Pendleton this week. Last year, we went to Pendleton and took a hard loss. Of course, last year we had a lot of key players that were out. Mm-hmm. Those players are actually back and healthy this year. So hopefully it'll be a different result, and hopefully it'll be win number 2.
We're going to talk about that game a little bit later, Word Shoals versus Pendleton. Let's move over to the Greenwood side of things. That's the game I covered on Friday night, Greenwood versus Lexington. It was a great contest. The Eagles, I think the Eagles are going to be one of the surprise teams this year. Go out on a limb a little bit. I think the Eagles have a chance at an undefeated season. I know people might laugh at that, prediction or whatever, but the Eagles look very good right now. The defense is playing hellacious. DJ Dunlap and the young offense is looking good. Cathcart's got those guys moving. It's the short passing game that's killing them. It killed Lexington all night long. First drive of the game, DJ Dunlap comes out, hits 3 out of 4 passes, goes for 25 yards, 12 yards, and 13 yards. On the last play of the drive, uses his feet to get in the end zone. That's what's killing teams right now. He's a run threat, and also he's a passing threat right now for the offense. Like I said, the defense is always going to be there. Kelsey Quarles had a touchdown, a defensive touchdown, first touchdown of the year for that defense. Greenwood, I'm drinking the black and gold, tea right now. I'm drinking that really hard. I'm liking Greenwood. I'm liking what they're seeing. We're going to talk about their game this week a little bit later. Dorman versus Greenwood. That is the GTS game of the week. I can't wait to talk about it. But before we do that, let's talk about the GTS game from last week. 96 versus Emerald lived up to the hype. The Heart Attack Cats are back, baby. Coach Liner's got them playing. It came down right to the last 2 minutes. Emerald actually had a 2-touchdown lead in this game late in the third quarter. But 96 came back thanks to Trey Smith going for over 300 yards. And Ryan Lightning Rod Slack, the ball just for some reason attracted to him. He went over for almost 200 receiving yards. Steven, you covered both teams. You got to look at both teams. When you're looking at 96, Emerald, what are you seeing from the Wildcat side? What are you seeing going further into the season?
I see 96. They're going to keep this up. I really think, that comeback win is always good for a team, and it really gives them momentum going into the couple more non-region games that they have and then into the region, especially when you can do that on the road and, you're down by 2 touchdowns going into the fourth quarter. It really says a lot for a team. Even though when things were not going well for 96, led by Trey Smith, they didn't give up and they kept on going, and I think that's great when a team can, no matter when they're down, they don't let up and they keep fighting to the end. And sometimes when you fight to the end, just like 96 did, you prevail and you come out with the W.
Yeah, and I think that's become a staple of the Chris Liner squads last year. The Heart Attack Cats, they had a couple of wins there in the non-region schedule. It was by field goals, it was by 4 points. They're always hanging a game. They're never out of a contest. But Chris, we got to go over to the Emerald side. It's looking kind of bleak right now. They had a chance to win this game, but still got some positives. Eric Spencer had a big game on the ground. Billy Poozer is a senior quarterback. Defense kind of let them down this week a little bit. When you're looking at Emerald, I know Ware Schultz has got them in 2 weeks. What are you seeing from the Vikings when you're scouting them?
Well, Poozer coming over and taking over the offense this year compared to last year. I mean, he has matured a lot, and both squads compared to last year, both squads lost a lot. Emerald's got some issues to work out. Obviously, I mean, each team has its minor issues that they have to work out. When a team has a 2-touchdown lead that late in the ball game, you got to look back and think, okay, what happened? I mean, we had a 2-touchdown lead that late in the ball game and wound up losing the ball game when it should have been a W. You can look at the players and say who missed their assignments or who missed their matchups or whatever, but you also got to look. I mean, not saying the coaches. I mean, you got to go back. I mean, you got to look at it as a whole program and say, okay, what can we do to correct the mistakes?
Emerald, the pass defense was exposed against 96. Trey Smith going for over 300 yards. That is not a good sign heading against a pass-happy Southside team that just allowed 74 points to them in a playoff game last year. Southside, that's another game we're about to talk about in the second part of this GTS Mid-Week Report. We're on week 3, guys. We're breaking it down here. When we come back, Pigskin Pick'em, and also the updated watch list. We'll be back.